So now for Wild Canyon. Obviously this is a level from SA2. And I'm going to be showing off a mission that's different from the treasure hunting mission because sake of variety, I guess. This is pop as many as all balloons? What kind of mission? That didn't tell me what to do at all. That's kind of broken English there. The actual mission objective is to find all of the balloons and pop them. Thankfully, they have the decency to include a counter on screen at all times, so you always know how many are left. So that's good at least. What's not good is that there's no radar, so you have to go through the entire level with no radar, no idea where you're supposed to go in order to find the balloons. If you're flying around in treasure hunting levels with the flying type, it can be easy to forget to pick up rings, which makes a huge amount of enemies around. Seriously, it feels like there's more enemies in this level than there were in SA2. It makes it feel more intimidating if you decide not to pick up rings. Like, I actually thought that there weren't any rings for some time. You can see Tails there in his cyclone neck. So he's actually kind of weird because he actually has the spin dash, and it's on the B button on the Xbox controller. So that's, I don't, well, it does help to make it fast because if you can drift and spin dash with the mech character, so you can go fast with him if you want to. But it's kind of weird aiming and targeting and shooting with the Y button, which says the C button here. I don't know, I'll play as him more later, because right now it's better to play treasure hunting levels with a character that's suited for it. It's good that he can still hover. That's obviously vital. And he didn't seem to control like he didn't seem to control terribly with turning around like the mechs do in SA2. But I don't have much experience with it right now. The point is, Wild Canyon was kind of annoying, but it wasn't nearly as annoying as Tokyo was because, well, I'm already familiar with its level design. They didn't really put much of an effort into making it look different. I mean, the fan at the very start of it looks definitely different. It looks ripped straight out of Generation Seaside Hill, which makes me wonder if they got the resources, the graphics for this game from Generations. That would explain a lot. So, yeah, it wasn't too bad. I wasn't really frustrated, and that's mainly because it wasn't forcing me to go into an underground area to find a red ring that I didn't really get the idea to go into in the first place. If I had chosen the treasure hunting mission, the normal one, I'm sure I would have had basically a normal treasure hunting experience. All the treasure hunting levels kind of blend in together when you think about it. That's part of why I chose a different mission for this one, so I'd make absolutely sure that I had something new to talk about. Basically, this mission, when you think about it, is basically just the hard mode mission of finding the emerald pieces from SA2. All you have to do is go to one specific place, and they hand you all of them in a row. Well, actually, that's a lot better than the hard mode in SA2, because in the hard mode, it was predetermined where the 3 emerald pieces were. They weren't randomized anymore. Which, you know, I like the randomization because it ensures replayability. Although, they should always be in the same predetermined locations when you're playing the level for the first time in the story. It would just make things a lot easier and less luck-based for actual playthroughs of the game and not replaying the level. But yeah, you just go to one place and that's where you find each of the balloons. I was kind of worried that it would be a warp maze where you could choose the wrong portals and it would take forever and you have to memorize which portals you had to go to. But nope, just trust your instinct and always go to the left one in front of you, and you'll end up running into all of the balloons. So I really hope that every balloon mission is like this, because otherwise it would be really annoying because it's annoying enough having to have no radar. And I had a really bad experience with a certain other find all the objects with no radar mission. But thankfully this one seems to be at least well designed enough. You just go to the right part of the level, and there you go, you win. It's easy. Once you get enough emblems, you unlock characters. Here, for the first time, I unlocked Mephiles and some other characters. So, that's cool. I'm assuming Mephiles plays just like Shadow. We'll see. And now for Crisis City. You know, obviously I was expecting the worst because it was an 06 level, but actually this level is generally pretty fun and exciting. Although it does drag on for 6.5 minutes, which is expected because Sonic 06 levels took a long time too, although generally it was more in the line of 20 minutes. And 6.5 minutes is only really exhausting the first time. The second time, if anything, you're kind of thankful because the level is fun, so you don't mind it taking a long time. Unfortunately, just like Wave Ocean, this is another level where you start out not in control. So you'll be mashing buttons and you won't be able to change characters if you want to, say, change to Shadow right away. I didn't necessarily know that I was going to be playing Crisis City when I chose Shadow. It was just a happy coincidence that I chose a character that happened to go through the same level in 06. The start of the level had me worried that it was going to be a beat 'em up level like in 06 because I was forced to kill some egg pawns to hit a mandatory spring to progress. But thankfully that's the only time this happens. So we can at least be thankful that the level designers of this level were more competent than the people who made 06. Instead, it's just a fast and fun level. Unfortunately, there is a lot of wandering around the first few times you play this level to find the way forwards because it's not just like going straight ahead. The level design doesn't always naturally lead you in the direction you have to go. You have to walk around to find the springs and stuff. But it's not really that big of a deal, and at least it's a lot more interesting than just going in straight lines and hitting dash pads, leading you in the direction you have to go all the time. There's 2 times in this level where the game will pull screw you, scattering a bunch of spike balls everywhere. What's supposed to be a speed section, a part of the level where you're just allowed to just go fast and enjoy yourself. It reminds me of the level design of Destroyed City Escape, which was not a fun experience. Just fly over them. After that is one of several very thin walkways that make me nervous to progress in this level. It's safer to just fly over them in case you're worried about walking off the edge. Not that the controls in this game really warrant it. There are no boost games or anything. It's an exciting level full of slopes you can roll down and upward slopes you can enjoy drifting upwards. That's another thing I love about the drift, because it always keeps momentum, even when you're going uphill. So as a result, it's a great way to go fast in all terrain, provided that you don't mind constantly turning left and right because you can't drift straight ahead, obviously. That would just be silly. But I really like it. I like how the drift seems to have a secondary utility in this game, whereas in boost games it was just used for turning, or maybe I seem to remember hearing that in speedruns of Sonic Unleashed they would drift all the time. So maybe it's the same thing as in this game? Is drifting faster than spin dashing all the time? I mean, your spin dash does run out. It's not like an SA1 where you can mash it all the time to go really fast. So I guess drifting all the time would be faster than just running ahead. I still prefer spin dashing on top of the slopes though. Almost 3 minutes in, I nearly ran off the edge because the level design naturally led me to the edge. The camera was pointing in direction and everything. And rather than the level designers making the wall of the road in front of me high enough to catch me, thus making the wall actually justified to exist, they just put a sign here breaking the 4th wall telling you go left, which probably helped my reaction times a little bit, but I still almost ran off the edge. After that I ran down a sloping road, and there were some spike balls up ahead. And normally that'd be bullshit because it's a speed section, but I jumped over them just fine. And that's probably because an upward slope was right before them. And my Sonic instincts just tell me that when you're heading towards an upward slope, the game is telling you to slow down because there might be obstacles requiring you to jump up ahead. So, because I was slowed down, I jumped in time. So that's good at least. And 3 minutes and 26 seconds in, I got hit by nothing. Seriously, what hit me? There's also the hint bubbles from 06 here, which is a nice touch. I wish that they had the goofy, hammy-sounding 06 announcer voice, though. But I understand that they can't actually do that because there's no voice clip in 06 saying, "Look behind you for a bonus." So that would be kind of impossible. I don't really think that you should be outright blatantly told where to look for bonuses. I mean, isn't the exploration appeal of a Sonic level that you look for it by yourself and you find it by yourself? But I'm not really going to complain here because how the hell are you supposed to know that you even can look behind you to find a secret in the first place? When the level design in this game is more comparable to Adventure 2 than Adventure 1. It's so linear. So you're really encouraged to just go ahead. Why'd you ever think there's anything behind you? But it's nice to get item boxes. 4.5 minutes in, there's a really obviously scripted loop that's so obviously scripted because you have no dash pad to get up it. So it really doesn't look like you should be able to go up it, but for some reason you are anyways. And the camera pans up, the camera pans back to show you, like, loop-de-loops in 3D Sonic are just an excuse to show off the fancy camera work. I get that they're supposed to look cool, but loops weren't about just looking cool in the classic games, they were a method of making you go faster. So this is a pretty fun level. Finishing it reminds me, yes, there are elemental shields in this game. There's a red shield there. I'm not sure if they actually do anything different from regular shields though. Seriously, the game has no tutorial whatsoever, not even in the test stage, which you think would be a tutorial, so I have no idea if the red shield has a different effect from the normal shield or not. And you'd think I would know, you'd think that it would have protected me from the fire projectiles of the fire enemies in this level, but it's not. For some reason I was kind of disappointed that I wasn't able to make use of Tails and the mech here, because I was assuming it to be a beat 'em up level, but I really shouldn't be disappointed about that.